Okay, so this is a empty waste bowl, empty fruit bowl sponge. So I'm going to make a sponge using these disgusting bananas that have been left to go brown. Nobody's eaten them. They're all soft. They have got a very strong smell of banana as well. I've decided I'm going to do a large sponge in a large sponge tin, and the reason for that is because I can't find my little muffin tin, my bun tray. So you can use this same mixture in lots of different ways. So I'm going to prepare my large tin just by putting a bit of greaseproof paper on the bottom of it. So what I did there was I drew round about the bottom of the tin, and then I've cut that piece of greaseproof paper out so that I've got a circle that fits the bottom of the tin. So like I said, you could do this in a muffin tin. You could do it with some bun cases and do individual cakes, but I'm going to do a large one. So at home, sometimes we don't have a pastry brush to be able to grease the bottom of the tin. So what I've done here is I've taken a bit of paper towel or kitchen roll, and I've put some butter on it, and I'm just moving that butter round about the bottom of the tin and round about the sides, and what that does is it stops the sponge from sticking to the tin so that it turns out easily. Now we obviously don't need to do that when we're cooking them in bun cases, but if you are doing it in a larger tin, doesn't matter what shape your tin is, it could be a loaf tin, it could be any kind of tin at all, but you do need to grease and line your tin. In my large bowl, I've got butter, and I've got flour and sugar in my small bowl, and I've weighed these out already. So I'm just going to show you how I've weighed them. So what I did was, I thought some of you might not have scales at home, so I have made these measurements a little bit easier if you don't have access to scales. So in my large bowl, I've got 3 spoons. So just your spoon that's in your drawer in your house, your largest spoon that you've got. You're going to put 3 spoons of butter into your bowl, and then I'm using 2 eggs to go in with that as well. Now remember, I'm making a big cake here, so I need probably double the amount of mixture as you would if you were making smaller ones. So you can cut this mixture in half, and you can do it with 1 egg and 1.5 spoons of butter. But it's 100 grams of butter that I've used. If you do have scales, then you could weigh it out to 100 grams, but it's roughly 3 spoons of butter, just using the spoon that's in your drawer. So 100 grams of butter with 2 eggs, and I've got 100 grams of flour and 100 grams of sugar going in there as well. And just for ease, just in case again you don't have any scales in the house, that is 3 heaped spoons, so spoons that haven't been levelled off, of self-raising flour, and 5 heaped spoons of caster sugar. And then it's all getting mixed up together, so it's 100 grams of flour, 100 grams of sugar, 100 grams of butter, and 2 eggs, and it's self-raising flour that I've used so that the cake rises. And I'm beating it until there are no lumps. So again, 100 grams of self-raising flour is 3 heaped spoons of flour, and caster sugar, 100 grams, is 5 heaped spoons if you don't have any scales in the house. And we're giving it a really good beat with a wooden spoon. So when you beat with a wooden spoon, you're putting as much energy into it as you can to melt the butter down. So I'm giving it a really, really good hard mix with my wooden spoon until I can't see any lumps anymore, and it's a nice smooth mixture that I've got in the bowl. That's what you're aiming for. Make sure you go all round about the edges, all round about the sides, right around the bottom. Make sure everything's all mixed together, and this is what we would call an all-in-one method. So sometimes you can cream your sugar and your margarine together first to get rid of any lumps, then add your flour and your sugar and your eggs, but the all-in-one method is just as good. Okay, now I'm going to take my disgusting banana. Nobody would eat this banana as it is. There's absolutely no way that anybody would eat this in my house. It would be getting thrown in the bin. It's got a really strong smell of banana. You'll find that the more ripe bananas become, they have got a much stronger smell and flavour. So this is why it's really good to use this in a cake. It's going to give it loads of flavour and it'll taste really banana-y. So I'm squashing it down with just the back of a fork on my plate until it's nice and smooth. There's a couple of lumps in there. I'll just give a little bit of banana texture to my mixture. I'm scraping that into my large bowl with my creamed mixture that's all nice and smooth. And I'm just gently giving it a little mix through, not beating it too hard. I actually want kind of lumpy bits of banana in my mixture so that I can taste them. Then I'm trying to get the angle right here so that you can see it. I'm going to pour the mixture into the tin once I've put my greaseproof paper on. Now don't forget to put your greaseproof paper on. I obviously nearly did there the now. And you're going to top the greaseproof paper with another little bit of butter so that this paper comes off of the cake. So when you turn it out, the greaseproof paper will be stuck to the cake, but you'll be able to peel it off easily if you have put your butter on the greaseproof. Then I'm just pouring the mixture into the middle of the tin. You can use the spoon to help you scrape it out, but rather than spooning it out a spoon at a time and making a mess all over the place, you just want to pour it all out until all the mixture is in your tin. Now, I don't know if you all know, but I do not do much baking in my house at all, so that's why I've only got this one tin and a bun tin somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So it's in the tin, but I'm not really sure if this is going to be the right tin to cook this in. It probably is a little bit big, so I might end up with quite a thin cake. Then I magically found my bun tin. Imagine that, after going through all of that. So you can use paper cases, stick them into the bun tin and put 1 spoon of mixture into each paper case. Whilst it's cooking at 200 degrees, or if you've got a gas cooker, that would be gas mark 7, and you're going to cook it for about 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, we're going to check it for readiness, and then you can put it back in if it needs to go back in, but we'll talk about that in a second. I'm now going to make up a little bit of icing for the top of my cake. So I just want to drizzle the icing on my cake, so I just need a really small amount. So I've got 3 spoons of icing sugar, and I'm putting 1 spoon of water in with my icing sugar, and I'm just giving it a really good mix. Now you would probably think you would need more water than that, but icing sugar is very fine, so it disappears really quickly in the water. So you really don't need much water at all. So 3 spoons, heaped spoons of icing sugar, so big spoons, with 1 spoon of water will give me a nice runny icing that I can drizzle over the top of my cake. Now I need to make sure that my cake's cold before I do that, or the icing will just sink into the cake. It'll just disappear into the cake, it'll melt. Okay, so my sponge is ready. It's nice and golden brown. It's been in for 20 minutes. And you can check it with a knife, or you could do the finger test. So you can press it lightly with your finger, and if it pops back to you, if it springs back up, then it's ready. But I'm just going to double check by putting my knife in the middle, lifting it out, and checking to see if it's wet. If it was wet, it would mean that the inside of the cake wasn't cooked, but mine's is nice and clean, so it's fine as it is. I'm running the knife round about the side of the tin and then tipping it out just to make sure that it's all released. Tipping it out, and I'm just going to gently peel the paper away. Now because I had greased my tin properly, it's all come out really well, and I can just peel the paper off. Now remember, you need to leave it to cool down before you put any icing on it, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So mine is now cold. It was left for about 20 minutes to half an hour, and then I'm going to take a full spoon of my icing, let it start to drizzle into the cup, and then move my spoon over and go in lines across my cake. Now it doesn't need to be exact beautiful lines. I think it looks quite good when it's been drizzled over quite haphazardly. And you can keep doing that, keep filling up your spoon and drizzle, drizzle, drizzle over the top of the cake until you're happy with how it looks. Now, everybody in my house loves this cake. They would never eat those bananas. Those bananas would go in the bin. They wouldn't eat them as a snack, but they'll definitely eat my cake. Enjoy, guys!